Coach Prime, Coach Deion Sanders, he took to the podium asking reporters to avoid using players' names at his first press conference.
So despite having 42 new players, including 23 transfers, he admits he's not all familiar with all of their names just yet and will eventually call them by name or nickname very soon. This large new class ranks number 21 nationally, a big change from past losing seasons at that particular university. At the press conference, Sanders also discussed spring recruiting, NIL income, and why Colorado is the place to become a man, get a degree, and make it to the NFL. The transfer portal opens in May, and Sanders says he plans to recruit more players.
Former NFL wide receiver Chad Ochocinco Johnson shared his financial wisdom on Club Shay Shay, a podcast hosted by NFL Hall of Famer Shannon Sharpe. Johnson revealed that he saved between 80 to 83% of his NFL salary by being mindful of his spending habits. He says he never purchased real jewelry, instead opting for fake pieces, and avoided flying private, preferring, get this, Spirit Airlines instead. He also lived at the Cincinnati Bengals training facility for his first 2 years with the team instead of spending money on a house or condo. Johnson stated that all he needed was provided at the facility, such as a shower, a cafeteria, and entertainment options. No shade to folks that prefer Spirit Airlines. Word on the street is that Spirit Airlines it is a very specific travel experience. And so some people like that, some people don't. Clearly, Chad Ochocinco Johnson, he does, he likes it.
Yeah, well, listen, frugal, savvy, smart, I don't know. But obviously, on the other side of it all, on the other side of his career, on the other side of his bank account, he has saved plenty of money. What got me is the living in the facility. I just would want my own space separate from, career and downtime, home time. But, I guess it worked for him, for him, obviously. So Chad is, he is so entertaining. I love Chad. I really do.
Look, Chad's keeping it real.
And he was a hell of an NFL player. So, let him have his say.
But that says a lot.
The way he did his thing is just the way he did his thing.
That says a lot, to be able to save 80 to 83% of your salary, period. So whether you're an NFL player or anybody else, that is challenging to do.
But I'm not so sure these new age, new generation players are going to take any notes from that. I think they'll just figure it out on their own.
They look a lot better if they might.
Okay. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame nominees have been announced, and Missy Misdemeanor Elliott, does she still call herself Misdemeanor, leads the field of 14 other nominees, including our very own Spinners, they're from right here, and A Tribe Called Quest at Bay in Detroit. Now, to be eligible for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, the first commercial recording of an artist or group must have been released at least 25 years ago. A panel of over 1,000 artists, music industry professionals, and historians will vote, along with fans who can vote up until April 28th. The top 5 choices from fans voting will be included in the final tally to determine inductees, who will be announced in May and honored in a ceremony later in the fall.
All right, Rate Your Music crowned one of my favorite artists, Kendrick Lamar, as the artist behind the highest rated album of all time. To Pimp a Butterfly overtook Radiohead's OK Computer to secure the top position on the list of best reviewed albums in music history. The site, known for allowing listeners to rate and review acclaimed work, shared the news on social media. Kendrick's album earned an average score of 4.34 out of 5 from 58,322 ratings and 491 reviews, while OK Computer received a 4.26 rating. Listen, Kendrick Lamar is something else.
I know that's your fave. He's your fave, huh?
He's a voice. He's a fresh voice. He's a voice for the next generation of hip hop artists. I really love, his latest album and how he really goes deep in terms of, exploring not just his own trauma, but how he healed from it and how he's made sense out of it by doing the work. as we're all coming out of the darkest days from the pandemic, it's a great album to listen to, and especially considering some of the conversations that we've been having, right here at the desk, on, trans issues and the relationship between, black men and women. He really, really, really goes there. And so I'm not surprised that he got this honor.
It's the road to self-discovery. The road to success. They happen to, he's happened to do it via, his music career, much like Missy Elliott and the Spinners and Tribe Called Quest, who we just mentioned as nominees for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And, it just warms my heart as I'm very familiar with the Spinners beginning. They're from, technically speaking, Royal Oak Township, which is a small all-black township on the other side of 8 Mile from Detroit, and just to remember my dad's stories as he grew up with them and how they came up and became who they still are. A friend of mine is now a member of the Spinners, and so when you hear about the reflections, when you hear about the stories, when you hear about what they've had to overcome, it just warms your heart, and it really, for me, just creates more encouragement and motivation to just keep going. The only way that a lot of times you don't reach your goals or you never get to where you want to be is if you give up and you stop. So these stories I think definitely highlight that journey, if you will.
That's right. Keep going, y'all.
Yeah, we're going to keep going. Travis Scott will bring his vision to Utah during All-Star Weekend 2023. He has partnered with Smith Entertainment Group and the Utah Jazz to create multiple events, including the Cactus Jack Concert Series, Grit Rail Jam, and Cactus Jack Pop-Up Shop. The concerts will feature Don Toliver, Sheck West, and Chase B. Can you tell I have no idea who they are? And take place at the Depot. All events will take place in Salt Lake City from February 16th, a national holiday, through the 19th.
All right.
You'll figure it out later on in the month.
Now, moving on to Netflix news. Netflix is on the hunt for a new flight attendant for one of its private jets based at the company's San Jose headquarters. The streaming platform says the salary for this position ranges from $60,000 to $385,000, and the candidate will need to be a self-starter with a professional demeanor and be able to perform the duties of a flight attendant, including cabin inspection, safety briefings, and managing the stockroom. The ideal candidate must be flexible to work both international and domestic flights, weekends, holidays, and have the chance to work on a Gulfstream G550 jet.
Weekends and holidays. Could I fit that in between the FOXSOUL? They're paying up to almost, $400,000.
That's a lot of money. That's, who knows? There could be a flight attendant on that's working Spirit Airlines who maybe Chad Ochocinco, might have, some references, or, maybe he might have some recommendations on folks that might be interested in this position. I'm just trying to help folks out. I'm just trying to connect the dots.
Yeah, you just have to be, very savvy to fly on Spirit. I just flew on Spirit not too long ago because it was actually the only flight that could get me where I needed to get on time. And I just had to put, everything in my purse. and everything in my purse and get on board, baby.
Everything?
Everything.
That's what I'm saying. Look, Spirit Airlines is not for the faint of heart. That's all I'm saying. No shade.
It was tough.
Was it the rough side of the mountain with your bare hands?
Still ahead, Black excellence, and this time on Wall Street.
That's right. Plus, how one Black business owner is taking over a whole block in her neighborhood. We'll be right back. You're watching FOXSOUL's Black Report.
Like everything in my fanny pack. That was
Get
it.
your fanny pack
That
in your
was
purse.
It. Nothing else.